while most people will watch TV shows, movies, I watch a lot of YouTube. Ever since I got my first laptop, just before starting college, I'll watch all different kinds of YouTubers, from like using Khan Academy to pass my classes, to fitness YouTubers, to pranks. Just watching videos during my free time while I eat and so forth. And I just really admired how these people would put themselves out there, be consistent of it, and just make a difference. They didn't rely on some media outlet to put themselves on. They put themselves on. And there was one particular YouTuber that stood out to me, and that was Elliot Hulse back in the early years. And he made videos about fitness, but he didn't just teach you how to bench, how to squat. He would teach you, not teach you, he would just talk into the camera. He would just put the camera in front of him and talk straight in it. And I was just fascinated how he created a business around that. He didn't, and he would just answer people's questions about like fitness, about masculinity, about self-development, and I was fascinated by it. So a couple years after graduating college, I decided to make my first YouTube video. It was about just talking about my life, talking about how I moved to Vegas on my own and moved to LA first. That didn't work out, and like all the struggles and the thought process along the way. And it was actually the delivery of it was kind of bad. I remember someone messaged me after seeing it, asking if it was like reading from a teleprompter because I sounded so awkward from it. But there was people who actually liked it and commented on it. So I kept making more videos, just talking about my life, talking about what I'm going through. But then once I started making more and more videos, you get to a point where videos start slowing down. You get less views the more you create. So it's kind of like a negative feedback loop. By the more effort you put in, you get like a negative return. So I'll get discouraged and then kind of just stop. But when I started when I was a nightclub promoter, I started doing it again. I created content again, and that helped me out as well as a promoter. But same thing, eventually I'll get to a point where views started slowing down and I stopped. I did photography and I created content around that, and I really got to showcase my photography in a creative way through making videos with it. But then same thing, videos started slowing down, I got emotional about it, and I would stop. But whenever I stop creating content for a while, for some reason, I just have this inner desire, like this buildup for me to just express what's going on in my mind, share with others what I'm going through, share with others what I'm learning. So once I got into coding, the same thing was happening again. I talked about the coding bootcamp that I was going through because I know a lot of people debate if they should take one or not because it was a big investment. I made coding tutorials of what I learned as I was learning it. When I got my first job as a software engineer, I made videos about that. And then ultimately, I kind of get burned out for it. And I even invested in a course as well, where the guy was a big time YouTuber and he gave us like strategies and tactics, like on making good videos, on how to make a good thumbnail, having hooks, storytelling, ways to keep the viewers engaged while you make the video. But none of it actually worked for me, and I ended up giving up again. But once again, somehow I can't stop doing this. And I'm giving it another go, creating content as what I'm doing now. I'm working on my freelance web development business, so it's what I'm going to create content about. But this time, I'm approaching it a little bit differently. I'm not gonna care about how many views I get, how many likes I get. I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna focus on gimmicks and tactics to get the user viewing it longer. I'm just gonna focus on what matters most, and that is, I think, is consistency. That's number one. But by eliminating all these fancy edits, all these like trying to engineer a good hook, virality, I think it frees me up to be more consistent, more authentic, so I can really share what I'm going through. And I'm just gonna focus on just being a better storyteller, because I think that's key. And also being a better communicator as well, talking to camera for long periods of time without needing to edit. Because at the end of the day, like Elliot Hulse, the person that gave me inspiration to create videos, he didn't have any fancy edits. He didn't have any fancy equipment when he started. He just used a regular camera, a basic camera, and yet he still made it big. So I'm just gonna focus on being consistent, being storytelling, just sharing what I'm up to. Because even if I never make it big, and I can still hope to inspire other people the same way how there are so many YouTubers have inspired me. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos where I talk about my freelance business while doing my travelings, sharing you the journey along the way.